की बात होती है तो घर पर इन होम केयर वाला ऑप्शन सबसे बढ़िया है। अनलॉक का पेस प्रोग्राम एक ऐसा कन्वीनियंट एंड पर्सनलाइज्ड ऑप्शन है जिसके जरिए हमारे बुजुर्ग घर पर हमारे साथ रहकर यही देखभाल और सेवा का लाभ उठा सकते हैं। अब चाहे वो घर पर रहे या अनलॉक वाले पेस सेंटर में आए, उनको वही डेडिकेटेड एंड प्रोफेशनल केयर मिलेगी। अनलॉक ने बुजुर्गों की सेहत को अपना प्रायोरिटी बना लिया है। और जानने के लिए 1855-308-0195 पे कॉल करें। That's 1855-308-0195.
Top of the morning, Bay, with Good Morning Bay.
Get to know about the traffic on your way and what's news around the world today.
Some wisdom skills along the way.
Oh, and a song to hum along with and sway.
Get your perfect entertaining start to the day.
At 9 a.m. every weekday morning with
Mahima's
Good Morning Bay.
Good morning, Bay. आप सभी लोग हमारी तरफ से एक प्यार भरा नमस्ते,
नमस्कार,
वनकम,
नमस्कार,
खुश आमदीद,
अस्सलाम वालेकुम,
सत श्री अकाल,
मीघांतरिकी वंदनम,
जय स्वामी नारायण,
जय श्री कृष्ण,
जय जिनेंद्र।
बस हमारी भाई बंधुओं को बोल दे या अली मदद,
मोला अली मदद बोलते सारे फीजी मतलब बोलेंगे नीसा बोला बदजान। हम आ गए हैं आपके प्यारे महिमा के द्वारे। मैं सर फालतू बाबा
and of course myself फालतू रानी लेकर आपके लिए एक और ड्राइव टाइम that's going to make it totally exciting and totally मस्तानी बन जाने।
शुदा बंजान, ऑफ कोर्स आप अगर सोच रहे oh my god it's like नवंबर का 8th हो गया, मतलब we just have 1.5 months to go बंजान। That's right, you heard it right, just 1.5 months to go. Oh my goodness, Faltoni, the whole year will be ending by the time. My goodness, can you imagine?
Yeah.
Can you really imagine, Faltoni?
I can.
Tell me seriously, can you imagine?
Yes.
Well, okay, if you can imagine, you've got a very good imaginary power, but I really can't imagine. I am not able to figure out, I'm not able to fathom that, oh my god, we have spent a whole year, Faltoni.
In what, Altu Baba?
I don't know. In
Not,
what?
No, still coming out of the pandemic.
It's still coming out. That's true.
Yeah.
But also very true.
Another whole year has gone by, Banujan.
Yeah.
And we're still not completely out of the woods.
Yeah. And of course, our kids are still, are still at risk. We have a lot of kids. The schools have opened up. I believe the rate of COVID cases are not to alarming levels, but definitely are at alarming levels, Fatwani. Did you know about that? Because LA has passed a strict mandate right now for all the business patrons who actually go patronize businesses. They have to show proof of vaccination starting today.
Wow.
Yes, Banajan, so that's something you got to watch out for sure. Like, I know right now what you are probably thinking about is, oh my god, what's going to happen on the roads? Well, Banajan, do not worry. I am here to share with you what's happening on the roads. Raste ka haal aapke liye saste Banajan.
It's time for the Bandu Traffic Update. Call us from wherever you are at 408-912-2479.
That's right, Banajan, 408-912-2479. No matter where you are in the Bay Area, Banajan, if at all you're actually experiencing traffic, all you have to do is just give us a call here and share and say, hey, Altavaba Faltwani, I just, we have a traffic over here right now, wherever you are. Could be your driveway, could be a parking lot, could be your grocery store outlet, wherever you are, Banajan. We are here to take your answers and share with all the bandhus out there. So probably somebody out there who actually probably would save some time by not, getting caught up in the traffic, Banajan. Speaking of all updates for you guys, the accident, which actually is a collision on 280 northbound at the Cambridge Street. Is it blocking traffic? Not much. But what definitely is blocking traffic over there on 80 near the Treasure Island Road, there's an accident over there. The second lane to the left is affected in that place, so watch out carefully for that. Otherwise, there's no incidents report across the 237, 880, or for the matter 101 heading towards North Banjan. A disabled vehicle on 17 is not impacting traffic much. Similarly, an accident on 17 further from the particular disabled vehicle, Banjan near Los Gatos area. A little bit of traffic over there, but otherwise, predominantly around the Bay Area, we are having a nice open traffic which is going on there. But weather-wise, it is going to be cold, so layering up is advised. It's now might be seeming something like around 50. It actually is around 55. Highest you might go around 65, I suppose. Lowest probably is 42. No rain in sight, but tomorrow probably you might have some showers here and there. But it'll be clear there's no rain, so you're fine. You don't have to carry the umbrella, but definitely carry something called a wind sheet or something with you which you can wear. Keeps you warm at the same time, keeps you dry. But that's what I would advise. But right now, but just time for us to go and take a look at what's happening with the news. Faltwani, Do you have news for our bandus today?
Yes, Manajan, and of course, as of yesterday, daylight saving time ended. What? You got to sleep in an extra hour. But here's what there are some ideas as to how to make the most of your time. And also, there's going to be seasonal mental health issues,
Whoa.
especially those who
Depression.
suffer from depression. Yeah. At this time, there's going to be a spike in cases, and especially after the COVID pandemic, health experts are recommending parents be especially watchful of your teenage children, tweens, whether any kind of hormonal change is happening, and if your teen has shown some signs of anxiety and depression, please be watchful of it as well. Elon Musk asked Twitter if he should be selling some of his Tesla stock, and you know what people said, right?
Go ahead, do it.
Yes.
Of course.
They said it's time to divest you from the company.
That's mean.
Why would you go and ask?
Well, it's better off, I'll tell you, Jeff Bezos, for that, he's pretty much in trending nowadays. Because a lot of videos of him circulating where the people have caught him on the streets and everything, right? And also one other thing where he says that he actually has only 16% stake in the $1 trillion company.
Oh,
right?
really?
So Elon Musk definitely has more stake in that.
Yeah.
As opposed to him. And Elon Musk's company also has this $1 trillion mark. Yes, Pandajan, if you don't know about that, go check it out.
Right. So now let's go on over to national news, Pandajan. President Joe Biden and top officials in his cabinet are hitting the road to promote the $1 trillion infrastructure bill passed in Congress last week to explain when and where Americans can expect to see some of the funds in their own communities. The White House aides are planning a bipartisan signing ceremony for the infrastructure bill as soon as this week, after it gained final passage on Friday night when Democrats who control the House of Representatives ended months of bickering and approved it. Biden heads to the port of Baltimore, Maryland on Wednesday to promote the bill. Transportation Secretary Pete Buttigieg was to take questions at the White House daily news briefing on Monday about the bill. Buttigieg and Energy Secretary Jennifer Granholm, Interior Secretary Deb Haaland, Environmental Protection Agency Administrator Michael Regan, and Commerce Secretary Gina Raimondo are fanning out across the country as well to talk about this particular package. Investigators are probing the Houston concert where 8 fans died and hundreds were injured. Authorities on Monday were investigating the events leading to the deaths of 8 people, including 2 teenagers, when the audience at rap star Travis Scott's performance at a Houston area music festival last week surged toward the stage, crushing on and trampling victims. Scott, a hometown star, was the headline act for the Astroworld Festival, and which will now offer refunds to all attendees, according to a source familiar with his plans. He has cancelled a scheduled performance this weekend at Day in Vegas in Las Vegas, a similar outdoor festival, the sources have said. Victims were crushed in a chaotic surge of concert goers near the stage, with some unable to breathe and others trampled underfoot. Hundreds of others were injured during the Friday's performance. Though he paused the music multiple times after spotting fans who needed medical attention, Scott still completed his set, supposedly. He later released a statement that he did not realize how out of control events had become in the crowd and was devastated by the tragedy. Georgia is seeing crime scene photographs of Ahmaud Arbery's body. Jurors saw gory police photographs of the body of Ahmaud Arbery, a black man lying in the street of a southern Georgia neighborhood, and the shotgun that killed him as the murder trial of 3 white men who chased and shot him resumed on Monday. Gregory McMichael, 65, his son Travis McMichael, who is 35, and their neighbor William Roddy Bryan, 52, have pleaded not guilty to charges of murder, aggravated assault, and false imprisonment. They face life in prison if convicted on the most serious charge by the jury, which is composed of 11 white people and 1 black person. The men, they say, thought Arbery might have been fleeing from a crime when he ran through Satilla Shores, their mostly white neighborhood, on a Sunday afternoon in February 2020. They pursued him in pickup trucks for several minutes before the younger McMichael confronted Arbery on the road. Here are some important moments from the second day of witness testimony at Glenn County Superior Court. Sheila Ramos, the investigator, was one of the first investigators to arrive at the scene of the shooting and took dozens of crime scene photographs that showed Arbery's body in the middle of the road under a blood-stained white sheet. Her photographs also showed Travis McMichael's pump-action 12-gauge shotgun lying on the grass near the body, as well as shotgun shells and bloodstains on the asphalt. The three defendants watched the jury look at photographs taken after the sheet had been removed from Arbery's body, with Brian taking notes in a yellow legal pad. Some jurors also appeared to be squirming in their seats. The photographs included close-ups of a gaping gunshot wound in the center of his chest, another just below his left armpit, and one on his wrist. Arbery's mother, Wanda Cooper Jones, looked on from the courtroom's gallery. Travis McMichael's gun, contained in a long box, was also brought into the courtroom and admitted into evidence. Oh my God, this was such a horrible death, right? This boy was just jogging. Anyway, whistleblowers and fears of losing funds are key to enforcing U.S. vaccine rules. Workplace whistleblowers and a fear of losing federal funds are expected to play vital roles in ensuring compliance with the COVID-19 vaccine mandate ordered by President Joe Biden's administration for U.S. businesses, nursing homes, and hospitals. According to experts, Biden announced last Thursday that his administration will enforce the vaccine mandate starting Jan 4th. The rule applies to employers with at least 100 workers, federal contractors, and employees of nursing homes and other healthcare facilities that receive reimbursements under the Medicare and Medicaid government healthcare programs. Rain, gusty winds are set to return to the Bay Area today through Tuesday, when an atmospheric river is going to be passing through our region. Showers are possible starting Monday afternoon in the North Bay before spreading south and east, according to the National Weather Service. Rainfall is expected to increase Monday night, especially in the North Bay, and Santa Cruz Mountains could see about 2 to 4 inches of rain, forecasters have said. A wind advisory is also in effect for the North and East Bay, San Francisco, and much of the South Bay from Monday night through Tuesday morning. Wind gusts in these areas will likely reach up to 45 miles per hour, is what they're saying. And I don't know how many of you are following that story of the little boy who got killed yesterday, Bandhajan. If you're not familiar with that story, I think a child actually died following a shooting on I-880 in Oakland. The California Highway Patrol's Golden Gate Division said they received a call of a freeway shooting on northbound 880 after 2 p.m. According to CHP, the victims of the shooting were traveling in a white Lexus sedan on a southbound 880 near Filbert Street when their vehicle suddenly was struck by gunfire. The CHP said that a child was shot. The boy was rushed to UCSF Benioff Children's Hospital, where he later died. The victim's family shared several details about the child and what happened, but did not want to speak on camera. Apparently, the family told NBC that the toddler, who was a 23-month-old Jasper Wu, was in a car seat when a single stray bullet entered the vehicle and struck him in the head. His mother was driving at the time. The family said 2 other adults and 2 other children in the car were not injured. Officials said that the evidence that was collected on the northbound side of 880 may indicate that the victims were not targeted. Northbound lanes of 880 were reopened to traffic at 23rd Avenue just after 5 p.m. The family is getting support from the Asian American community, but they're saying right now that the community is demanding change. They're saying that after this particular death of little Jasper Wu, that the community is coming together, and they're saying that they need to do something about the crime situation in Oakland. It's horrible to imagine that this family having a nice day and then a bullet hits the baby and the baby dies just randomly out of nowhere. Oakland Chinatown Chamber of Commerce President Carl Chan, who spoke with the boy's mother, said that she told him that the father had never met his son because of his COVID-19 restrictions, apparently. And then they're saying this tragedy is a turning point. It can't just be a child victim. We could all become victims, any one of us, and we need to make a change now. Other community activists are also calling for change in that regard. There is going to be several hundred Sata Health Hospital workers who are going to go on strike in Antioch today. And also in San Jose, downtown San Jose, a new affordable housing development is beginning near the Diridon station. It's the first major housing project moving forward near Google's planned downtown village. The new housing is slated for McAvoy Street near DuPont, just off of Bird Avenue, and will have 689 apartments, 375 of which will be affordable housing units. The project also calls for more than 64,000 square feet of existing industrial buildings on McAvoy Street in order to build more affordable housing units. They're going to be tearing it down, apparently. This is great. This project is scheduled to be completed in 3 to 4 years. Now, it's time for us to be going into our Gani Ka Kira Banajan. We'll try to bring you the world news headlines after that, but here is our Gani Ka Kira that we have for you.
And the voice of KK Banajan, music by Preetham, and also the lyrics by Sandeep Srivastava.
Na 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 na. यारों जी भर के झीले पल लगता है आजकल दौर अपना आएगा यारों जो खुद पे हो यकीन तो जिंदगी हंसी तुझे कल बुलाएगा यारों जी भर के झीले पल लगता है आजकल दौर अपना आएगा जो खुद पे हो यकीन तो जिंदगी हंसी तुझे कल बुलाएगा है जुनू सा जीने में है जुनू सा सीने में है जुनू जीने में है जुनू सा सीने में ना 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 राहों में देखो है मंजर सजे सारे हम जहां में हर जगह सपने सजाने की हमको मिली वजह कहीं जैसे कोई धुन बजे राहों में देखो है मंजर सजे सारे हम जहां में हर जगह सपने सजाने की हमको मिली वजह ये अगर जो सच नहीं तो सच भला है क्या
and of course जुनून के साथ जियो बलजान. And if you want to hear more of the song आएगा जरूर, लेकिन उससे पहले what we have to do is check what's happening in the world and world news coming up right now from News Desk Media. Mahima for you guys, Balajan, take it away.
Former U.S. President Barack Obama threw his support behind those on the front line of global warming on Monday, calling for action by rich nations to end years of deadlock with developing countries over cash for climate change. At the start of the second and final week of the UN climate talks in Glasgow, known as COP26, ministers got down to the detail of trying to honor promises to pay for climate-linked losses and damages and to address how to help nations adapt to the effects of climate change. We have to act now to help with adaptation and resilience, Obama said in a meeting of island nations at the summit, adding that his views on the immediacy of the threat had been shaped by his experience growing up in Hawaii. Poland is expecting renewed efforts by migrants to force through the Belarus border in the coming hours as thousands gather at the frontier, Polish government officials are saying on Monday. Warsaw has accused Belarus of trying to spark a major confrontation, while video clips showed hundreds of migrants walking towards the Polish border and some trying to breach the fence using spades and other implements. We expect that in the coming hours, attacks on our border will be renewed by groups of several hundred people, Paweł Solok, the head of Poland's National Security Bureau, has told reporters. Polish government spokesperson Piotr Mueller said that there were currently 3,000 to 4,000 migrants near the border and more than 10,000 across Belarus ready to try and cross into Poland. Well, while that is happening, Manajan, the United States is now open for business. Packed intercontinental flights touched down and people embraced relatives at land borders on Monday after the United States lifted restrictions imposed on travelers from much of the world when the COVID-19 pandemic began. The travel ban, first imposed in early 2020, had barred access. My computer just refreshed on me. Although, can you believe that?
Yeah.
Okay. Had barred access when the United States has shut down borders due to the COVID-19 pandemic. You remember that MH17 aircraft that went down where 298 people died in a mysterious Malaysian Airlines jet that was shot down over Ukraine in 2014? Well, on Monday, the relatives of 298 people who died on that aircraft asked judges presiding over the Dutch murder trial looking at the crash to provide clarity over the alleged role of Russia in this particular incident. Piet Ploeg, whose brother, sister-in-law and nephew died on the crash, said that he's asking judges to look specifically at Russia's role in the Ukraine conflict. We want to know what happened, why it happened, and who was responsible, from the person who pushed the launch button to the highest ranking person responsible, maybe even in the Kremlin. And in news from India, Bandajan, there is some news that's coming out with regard to how satellite images are showing how China built mock-ups of a US Navy aircraft carrier and destroyer in its northwestern desert, possibly for practice for a future naval clash as tensions rise between the nations. And there's also a civilian who was shot dead by terrorists in Srinagar. They're saying it's a Lashkar cell again. The man, identified as Mohammed Ibrahim Khan, was a resident of Bandipora district. Terrorists shot Khan around 8 p.m., after which he was rushed to a hospital in critical condition, where he finally succumbed. And L2 spouses in the United States may no longer need to apply for work authorization. A lawsuit contesting that L2 visa holders do not need separate employment authorization to be eligible for job opportunity for employment in the U.S. has yielded results. In coming days, it is likely that USCIS will announce that the L2 visa holders can automatically work and do not need a separate work authorization document. And let's tell you also, Banajan, that in the T20 World Cup, India versus Namibia, India won. Of course, Rohit Ashwin helped Kohli-led India to end on a winning note. And there's been some security breaches and concerns at Antilla. You know what Antilla is, Alto Baba?
Yeah. So Antilla is that. Hey, everybody knows Antilla is.
Where the residence of
Reliance guys,
Mukesh Ambani, India's richest man, located in South Mumbai, security was beefed up after a local taxi driver dialed cops telling them that two men who boarded his cab were asking for the location of the multi-story skyscraper residence of the Ambanis. So the call was received at the control room, and according to reports, a taxi driver found the passengers carrying a bag, to which made the situation look really suspicious, apparently. So those were the headlines from across the world and also from India, Banajan. And if you want to catch up on these news stories, all you need to do is to go to mediamahima.com. That's all we have time for on this morning's Good Morning Babe. We'll be back tonight live at 5 on the Pam Pam Show. Have yourselves a beautiful, magnificent Monday.
Na 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 na